Making an album, it's an intimate thing. It has to be.
I've never seen him smile this much in his life.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go and actually take a look at Prime Video's Daisy and the Six. Now this premiered on September 3rd of 2023. It has 10 episodes to it, each roughly about 45 minutes apiece. And this is based on the novel by the same name from Taylor Jenkins Reid. So who is this actual series for? It's for people that are fans of musicals, romance, drama. Now this is music that's largely influenced from the late 60s and early 70s. Movies that you'll go ahead and actually recognize like this are going to be very similar to like The Doors or Almost Famous. Or for me, it actually speaks a little bit more to That Thing That You Do or The Five Heartbeats. This is set to be somewhat based on the story of Fleetwood Mac, so those fans will probably possibly find this appealing to them as well. Now, while I like some stories like this, majority I'm not really a big fan on, so I'm not the target audience for this. So in this particular series, I'm going to review it as a casual. Hopefully I do justice for you mains out there as well. If this sounds intriguing to you, click like, share, subscribe. But let's get into this review. So the storyline is based on the New York Times best-selling novel Daisy Jones and the Six. It follows the story of the iconic 1970s band fronted by two feuding yet charismatic lead singers, Daisy Jones and Billy Dunn. Drawn together by personal and artistic chemistry, their complicated musical partnership catapulted the band from obscurity to unbelievable fame. And then, after a sold-out show at Chicago's Soldier Field, they suddenly called it quits. And now, decades later, the band members finally agreed to reveal the truth. Set to the soundtrack of original music from the Daisy Jones and the Six, this is the story of how an iconic band imploded at the height of its powers. So that's the storyline, and I don't really have to go and actually expand upon that. It really gives you a good outline of what this is about. Now off top, this series does a nice drawing in that it starts with the members of the band sitting down individually some 20 odd years later after their performance together, and they're asked the question of why it all ended. But we first get the band's beginnings, and so it begins the story and the journey. Making of the band stories are only as compelling as the characters, and sometimes the times that they're evolved in also come into play as how much it is heart-rendering to us that it is. Now this one's set in the mid-60s to start, and the kids forming the band have their own hang-ups, wishes, hopes, etc., all that type of good stuff. The story is told in a linear fashion that makes sense. We understand the drives, the characters, and the setbacks. So off top, the story is structured as a good one. Most of the acting is pretty good. In the first two episodes, the standouts are Sam Claflin as Billy Dunn, Camilla Morrone as Camilla Dunn, and Tom Wright as Teddy Price. They're very good in their roles. They really kind of melt into their roles. I kind of feel that Riley Keough is probably how she pronounces her name. I apologize if it's not. But Riley Keough as Daisy Jones will get better as the series goes along. That's how I feel. But I just don't quite like the character in the first two episodes. She's just a bit annoying, maybe a two-bit arrogant or what have you. But I have a feeling that she's going to grow as the series goes along. Special shout out to Timothy Olyphant as Rod, the tour manager in here. He actually has a pretty good role in here as well. The rest of the cast is average to pretty good, so no one actually diminishes a scene, which makes the story feel way more organic, way more enjoyable. No one brings it down. Okay, so the acting is pretty good. Now, being 10 episodes long, I feel we're going to get bogged down into details that might not be ideal for casuals. Through the first two episodes, the band started to get some traction on fame and making big moves, but there are some understandable personal issues that are going to impact things. I'm not sure if there's ever been a whole series dedicated to a fictitious band's rise from obscurity to fame and the fall and all that kind of stuff. It's usually in a movie format that we get this, and you usually get it in like 90 minutes to 2 hours. So my hope is that the amount of details that this is going to get into is worth it. The type of music that they're highlighting here is not my particular genre, which is kind of like 70s light rock or rock and roll. So for casuals, this is going to be something to get through, but it's not obnoxious. You can appreciate the singing, musicality, and band makeup without being a fan of the genre. So it's not something that I have to like this genre in order to like this series. That's not the case. Even though some of the beats are kind of catchy, but if it's not your genre, it's not your genre. So what's my verdict? For me, both mains and casuals will want to watch the first 2 episodes. For main, you'll be drawn in by the band and the making of the band story, the music, the time setting for this series. The music was changing from teeny bopper of the 50s and from the folksy hippie 60s into a different rock styles, and this story takes you on that journey as they're going and actually progressing music evolution on that. And for mains, that's going to be a real draw as well as the compelling story. For casuals, the characters are written well, and the framing of flashback narratives helps clarify some thoughts and feelings that may not be readily displayed on the screen at the given time. It's entertaining enough for you to watch the first 2 episodes and get a feeling if this making of the band series is for you. So again, for both the mains and casuals, I'm going to suggest watching the first 2 episodes. And that's what I have for Daisy and the Six on Prime Video. Check it out. If you like that video, I appreciate you. Do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, so I can continue to do more reviews for you. But until the next time, take care of yourself. I'll holla at you.